Alright, guys, I know I'm a little late, but I finally got to see it, so let us talk about Shazam. And oh my god, what a fucking piece of shit. I'm just messing with y'all. This movie is absolutely fantastic. Like, it really is insane. This movie felt very into the Spider-Verse to me, in as much as it's the thing you didn't see coming. But once it's over, you can't live without it. Now, I don't think this movie is as good as Into the Spider-Verse. Also, I expected more out of this movie than I did that film. I forgot Into the Spider-Verse was even happening till, like, the day I went to go see it. But with this movie, like, I did like the trailers quite a bit, but as we got closer to it, I noticed the marketing campaign was getting very samey. We were seeing the same picture of him on his phone. We were seeing the same commercials, the same jokes, the same this, the same that. And I was getting a little worried. What if there's a problem? And there was no problem. I loved every aspect of this movie. I thought Billy could be sort of an annoying, like, kind of emo kid. No, he's not. He's insanely lovable. I thought the family was going to be either adorkable or boring. No, they're great. The action is fun. Him as Shazam, Zachary Levi, is fantastic. The villain is interesting. Every bit of this movie just works so damn well. And I think it really comes just from the charm of everything in this movie. Charm is the word to describe Shazam, and that is what you have here. Like, Billy has this great introduction where you see why he's you get every bit of him in his opening scene. You get his intelligence, his cleverness, his wittiness, but you also get why he's still a kid, and you get his drama, and everything is conveyed in a way that I was so worried was just going to feel like a daytime soap opera. But no, it's compelling, and you care about this kid, and you love this kid, and then you meet the family, and oh my god, I didn't think it was possible for the movie to get across as much personality and charm to every member of this family. One of the members of the family has like one line of dialogue, and I still really liked him. That is not possible. And the thing about the kids in the movie is that they don't necessarily act realistic. Like, they definitely are movie kids. They're goofy, they're over the top, they're fun, but they're memorable, and they're not, like, annoying. Like, even the little girl, who you expect to just be annoyingly cute little girl, is a lot of fun. And I think it's because they have this very charming relatability to them. You care about their situation. You see the house they live in. It has this very lived-in feel to it. And the parents are great. Like, I thought they'd be either adorkable or forgettable or maybe bad parents, but no, you really do get a sense that they love these kids and they're doing what they can. And there's a scene right at the beginning between the father and the oldest daughter that so easily could have come off as cringy or douchey or stupid, but it's not. It's great. It's this really funny scene that actually really made me laugh, and it just comes from all the personality of this movie. Savannah, the villain, I thought was going to sort of fall into like the villain from Wonder Woman, or even to a lesser extent the villain from Aquaman. He would just kind of be this forgettable, there, evil, has a little motivation but nothing much. No, I really was interested in Savannah and what was going on with him, and the seven deadly sins are cool, and they're destructive, and they're scary. A kid cried in the theater. That is how insane their big introduction scene is. And the thing about this movie that I noticed, and some other people have pointed this out, this feels like the 80s movie Hollywood has been trying to shove down our throats for the past, like, decade. You see, ever since the 80s kids became the holders of the most disposable income, Hollywood has sort of been trying to pander everything to them to get them to go out and spend more on movies and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, they're gonna do that to the 90s kids soon enough. Hell, they're even kind of starting. But you see it a lot. Your Spider-Man Homecomings, your It remake. And don't get me wrong, all those things are fine, but I often feel like the 80s aspect is just sort of thrown in, just kind of made to be there. Like, there's never a feeling like they really integrate what makes 80s culture and 80s movies unique. And what made 80s movies unique is that the characters weren't always the deepest. The plots weren't always the most original. But what made 80s movies work was that they focused on the personality and they focused on the charm and all that stuff. And that's why that stuff works. And then we kind of lost that, and this movie understands this. So this movie really emphasizes the personality. And you really feel like you're in this world with Billy Batson, with the family, with Savannah, with the magic, with the freaking Lovecraft demon things. Yeah, they're in this. They are freaking awesome. Like, it's a truly fantastic film. Better than the other Captain Marvel, that's for damn certain. A great film, and I'm calling it now, gonna be one of the best of the year. So go out and see Shazam. It kind of needs your money. So anyways, on to this week's Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. This was really good. I quite liked this. First up, the title. The title is very clever. It's like Fall of Ignis, or The Ignis Has Fallen, or something like that. But the reason that title is important is because it perfectly symbolizes everything that happened. Up until this point, Lightning has been made out to be like the guy who is always intelligent, always there, always thinking, always justifying his actions as the right thing to do for the world. Here, he's just like, ha ha, fuck you all. Like when he's like cackling and laughing and twirling his mustache in front of Revolver and Yusaku at the beginning, I'm just like, this dude's not alright. Like, they really made the transition work. Kudos to the actor for really getting that down for what the episode needed to do. It was great to listen to and just great to watch. And I love the conflict going on between Yusaku and Revolver the whole time. Like, Yusaku's like, no, don't do it. Don't make another Lost Incident victim. Revolver was gonna fucking do it. He was going to attack. And I like that idea that the Lost Incident brings out, in a lot of ways, kind of brings out the opposite of these two people and their personalities. Like, Yusaku and Revolver are both very much results, get the job done. But, like, this just hits them. Like, everything Jin and Spectre had to go through, like, it just affects them and changes the way they think. And that's really shown in the way they react to everything and to each other when Lost Incident stuff is brought up. So even though I think the Lost Incident has been very underplayed and very underutilized, I like that it does have that effect when it needs to be. And that's a very clever way to go about it. Also, the stuff with Jin is absolutely terrifying. Like, throughout the show, I felt like with Jin, it worked in the beginning when the only two Lost Incident victims we knew of was one guy who's turned into a frickin' vigilante, and the other is just, like, basically in a mental home. And it was sort of like, then I felt like it got weakened when you meet Spectre, when you meet Homura, when you don't meet the two who are more or less dead. I know one of them isn't, but in Yu-Gi-Oh! Land, this is the closest anyone ever gets to dead. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. But no, like, and I felt like they kind of lost something when they just kept making it, oh, everyone is just kind of there. But this was a good way to kind of bring that fear and intensity back to the whole thing. Like, the idea is, Lightning was always this monster, and, like, he tortured this kid. He pushed the kid to the mental breaking point and was happy about it. Again, this emphasizes this idea that Lightning was just always wrong, and as much as he wanted so badly to fight past his programming and to, like, be better, he just kind of always ends up back at that point. He always ends up angry. He always ends up wanting to hurt people, wanting to be violent, and it destroyed everything for him. And it's actually kind of a dramatic bit. And I really liked what happened next, and that being the rise of fucking Bowman. Like, I never thought I'd actually be saying Bowman has become one of the more interesting things going on. I love this idea that Bowman has created this ideology for himself. And though it's still in line with a lot of what Lightning believes, it's also its own unique thing. Like, Bowman actually is a lot more moral than one might think, because he doesn't believe in ends justifying the means. He believes in honor. He believes in living up to an ideal. He believes that we have to do the right thing regardless of cost. It just so happens what he believes is the right thing to do is the complete wrong thing that's going to get us all killed. But it's really interesting. Like, I like this idea that this character built it all on his own. Like, Lightning didn't try to give Bowman an ideology. Lightning just kind of gave Bowman the ability to develop one if he wanted to, and Bowman developed his own unique thinking system. And that is really interesting to watch see play out on screen. And so I quite enjoyed it. I like that he stood up to Lightning. I like that he wanted to do the right thing with the hostages. And seeing a tie was kind of a nice difference. I mean, ties really only happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because time gets cold. But it's sort of a nice change of pace as opposed to just lose, lose, win, win, lose, lose, win, win. Like, we both get taken out because the plot needs us both out of the scene. How did Bowman get the Earth Ignis power? Did I just miss that? That's very possible, but I'm just kind of like, I thought Earth Ignis was with Go. But it's not overly important. So yeah, going into what's happening, I am really interested to see what they're going to do with everyone. The one thing that didn't really work for me was the whole sort of revelation that Lightning caused the virus that ultimately killed Revolver's father. To me, that just didn't really add anything to it. I get the idea it's supposed to be that he rebelled and sort of led to the destruction of his creator, just as Bowman rebelled against him and did the same thing. And I get it's supposed to be poetic. I just didn't think it really added anything, in my opinion. It's just that we already had so much going on, and so much of it was interesting. Throwing another curveball in there just kind of didn't do anything for me. Also, I feel like Revolver's death doesn't have any weight to it when everyone just kind of goes in and out of a revolving door and then just comes back 5 minutes later. Although it was sort of cute when he finally calls Ignis by his name, which is great because that took me like 50-something episodes to do. So that was very nice. So all in all, very interesting. Loved what we saw. Can't wait to see where it goes from here. As for the TCG question of the week, Endymion Structure Deck. I think we all are asking ourselves right now, what the fuck is this thing gonna do? This isn't like with Salamangreat, where some people were like, will it be good now, or will it be good in, like, another ban list? No, people genuinely do not know what to expect out of this, and it's kind of cool. As a Pendulum player, I'm interested in this. I had a very bad experience playing Pendulum at a 520 poorly ran regional on Sunday. So I don't know if I really right away want to go back to Pendulums. I kind of want to play around with some other stuff for a little bit, get my love for the deck back, maybe. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see kind of all these different opinions, so I just want to know, where do you feel? Do you think Endymion will work? Will it be a flop? Will it work with Zephyra? Will it work with Magicians? Is there still something we don't know about? All that is possible. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for Yusaku versus Bowman Duel 4. Boy, am I glad they made Bowman interesting.